What up, everybody? It's your boy Jerome, and I am back today to give you a review for Insecure Season 3, Episode 1, titled Better Like. That's a weird title. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, this episode opened with Daniel at his house fucking somebody who I originally thought was Issa until I saw Issa on the couch trying to sleep, and then I saw the other girl who Daniel was beating her guts in. I'm like, God damn, he beating the shit out of her. And you know, Issa, like I said, Issa couldn't sleep because Daniel's in there fucking. So Issa goes out and she does Lyft, and the first person that she picks up threw up all over the backseat of her car. I swear to God, on my mama, on my grandma's grave, I would have beat the dog shit out that motherfucker. Like, you no good son of a bitch. You gonna get your bitch ass in my car and then you gonna throw up in the motherfucker. I'm gonna put your face in that throw up. You gonna clean that throw up and then you still gonna pay me. Like, what the fuck? You just threw up in my car and then you gonna pay for the cleaning fee on top of that. Like, how you like that shit, motherfucker? Okay, and then we had this scene with Molly. Molly is on vacation on the beach and with a drink in her hand and all that kind of stuff. And a dude walks up to her. And when I saw that dude, how tall he was, I'm like, oh, fuck, Molly. You still sitting here fucking with Dro, ain't you? But when the camera panned around, it wasn't Dro. It was some other nigga. I'm like, oh, Molly finally came to her senses and left Dro alone to be with his wife, Candace. I'm like, come on, Molly, come to your senses finally. But, you know, Molly is talking to the dude and he's telling her how, you know, he'll be in LA for a little bit. And she was like, you got a visa? And he was like, yeah, I'm from the States. And I'm like, oh, Molly is playing a game with this nigga. Like, I'm like, Molly is playing a game with this nigga for real. All right, and so then the next morning we got Issa. She is in Daniel's bathroom. She's looking in the mirror, and it's so awkward for Issa because, you know, she doesn't have the mirror like she had in her old apartment. It's just a blank cabinet with all his stuff in there, and then you got the little mirror to the side, and she looks in it, and then when she looks in it, Daniel opens the door, and you know, it's awkward silence between those two. And Issa's walking out the bathroom door, and she asked Daniel, well, did you know I was here last night? And he was like, yeah, I knew you were here. I'm like, yeah, he knew you were there. He didn't give a fuck. He was in there getting what he wanted from that girl, and fuck you. So over at Issa's job, you know, one of her coworkers comes up to her with the list of schools to contact that fired them, and Issa was like, oh, I guess it's something that you don't want to do. She was like, yeah. I would have told her, bitch, you do it your damn self. I'm not about to do your job. Do it your fucking self. And then, you know, that guy Ken, he in his feelings because of the promotion that Joanne gave Frida last season. And I'm like, nigga, why you in your feelings? Like, Frida deserved that promotion. Like, I don't think Joanne would have gave Frida that promotion if Frida didn't deserve it. And, you know, Frida goes up to Issa, and basically she's checking in on Issa and all that kind of stuff. And then Issa's asking her, Frida, has she talked to Joanne, you know, to see when she can get back in the field and all that kind of stuff. And Frida was like, you know, I just got into this position and I really don't want to rock the boat when it comes to Joanne and all that kind of stuff, because Joanne has been, you know, under a lot of stuff right now. And I just, again, she doesn't want to rock the boat and, you know, fuck up what opportunity she's been presented with. So, I mean, I'm here for Frida with that, like, shit, I just got this position. Bitch, you want me to sit here and fuck it up because of you? And you done fucked up some shit already? Like, nah, Issa, love you, boo, but I ain't about to fuck up my shit for you. And then we get this scene where you have Daniel. He's in the studio with this no talented ass girl who is singing a song. 1 minute she's singing into the microphone. Then the next minute the bitch is just singing all over the fucking room. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this bitch? Is she on some kind of drugs or something? And then when she came out of the studio, out of the booth, I'm like, man, that's Don from Danity Kane. Like, what the fuck? I was like, because I had to look up and see. I'm like, Don. And, you know, the dude that's in the studio with him, you know, Daniel's asking, where do you keep getting these old no talented ass girls from? And, you know, the dude telling him he's, that the girl is related to somebody that Daniel has been trying to give his music to and how to pay off for. And I'm like, how in the fuck is it going to pay off you helping some talentless ass girl with music? How's that gonna help you? How's that gonna benefit you? But if they like it, then I love it. All right, and then you got Issa. She's at the airport and she is picking up Molly from her vacation that she was on. And Molly gets in the car, and you know, Molly is basically telling Issa that Issa needs to take a vacation And Issa's like, we can't all be like you, getting a new job and then be able to take vacation and all that kind of stuff. And they go out to eat and they talk. And Issa's basically telling Molly how Daniel was fucking the girl and she was right there. And Issa's not Issa, but Molly's asking Issa, well, are you and Daniel fucking? And she's like, nah, my dry ass pussy ain't getting no action and all that kind of stuff. And Issa's basically saying how she's trying to save up money to get out of there, and Molly was like, well, you could have came and stayed with me. And Issa's like, nah, I couldn't stay with you. Issa basically didn't want to stay with Molly because she wants to keep her friendship with Molly. And Molly is talking about her niggas that she got. She's talking about how she got that dude that she was fucking with on the beach. How he's talking about he's coming to LA and she had to beach his ass. And then you got Quentin out there in Chicago wanting to have a long distance relationship with Molly, and she blooped his ass and told him to stay in Chicago. And then she's talking about how she's on this new thing in her life. How she was actually talking about she got a dude that has some what'd she say about that nigga? Oh, she said her new nigga is trying to fuck up her benefits, and she was like, you better give a bitch her PPO. And then she's talking about how she's on some new she's on some know better do better type shit. And Issa asked her about Dro, and she's like, he's a fuck buddy, and he's a fuck buddy that's married to Candace and all that kind of stuff. So that's how she feels about that one. Question: was that Daniel's mom that he went to see? If not, we just gonna for the sake of this review, we gonna say that was his mom that she went to see, and she was braiding that little baby's hair so tight as fuck. I'm like, god damn. I'm like, even my head was hurting looking at her braid that child's hair. So Daniel goes over there to get his guitar, and she asked him to watch the little girl the next day, and he was like, well, Issa's staying with me. She's been there for about. She's like, she's still there, and he was like, yeah. She said, how long? She said 2 weeks. And then she asked about the girl Vanessa that he was fucking, and he was like, that ain't nothing. And how it ain't like that and all that kind of stuff. And then his mama says, of all the places Issa could have stayed, she decided to stay with you. And she was like, think about it. And when he walks out the door, she was like, who gonna watch Jada tomorrow, Issa or Vanessa? And I died laughing, because that was funny as fuck to me. But I don't know how Daniel didn't really see that there was Issa had plenty of other options about staying with somebody, but she chose to stay with him out of all the options that she had. But I guess Daniel just being naive and stupid at this point. So Daniel is back at his place. He's working on his music, and Issa comes in, and she noticed that Daniel is drinking. And she was talking about how she hears the guitars and all that kind of stuff on his music. And he was like, you heard that? She was like, yeah, I hear a lot of shit and all that kind of stuff. And she was like, can I get a drink? And he said, yeah. So when Issa gets a drink, Daniel tells Issa to close her eyes. So Issa closes her eyes, and Daniel tries to kiss her, and she's like, no, we just friends and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not looking for nothing like that. And Daniel's talking about how he's confused and all that kind of stuff, because out of all the places Issa could have stayed, she chose to come stay with him. And he also mentions the fact that Issa was talking about him fucking that girl the night before. And Issa was like, she really didn't care about him fucking the girl. It was just the fact that if he was gonna do that, she would have liked the heads up so that she can know to leave or do something else with her time while he's fucking that girl. And he asked her again, why did you come to stay with me? And Issa's whole thing is the reason why she came to stay with him is because he's a lot closer to her job, and the fact that she knows that he's always gonna be there for her. And I'm like, Issa, just tell the nigga that you like him and you still got feelings for him. Like, it's just that simple. Tell the nigga that you like him. Okay, and then you got Molly and Dro. Dro is at Molly's apartment eating her out, and they go into the bedroom and they start, they fuck. And then they wake up the next morning, they having a little bit of pillow talk and all that kind of stuff. He's talking to Molly about a deal that she was working on and all that kind of stuff. And they having pillow talk. And then Candace calls him because he's talking about he was going to cook breakfast up for her. But, Candace calls and interrupts that. And then once he hangs up the phone with Candace, that's when Molly is like, are we going to fuck? Or are we going to be friends and all that kind of stuff? Because at this point, Molly wants to set boundaries with Dro. if they gonna fuck, they gonna fuck. If they gonna be friends, they gotta stop fucking and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, Molly, you shouldn't even. First of all, Molly, you shouldn't even gotten in this position in the first place. He's married, so you can't have everything with him the way you probably would want to. So it literally is just a fuck relationship, and you might be messing up your friendship with him by fucking him. Like, I don't get how Molly didn't see that in the first place. Like, letting him fuck is messing up your friendship with him. But I guess the dick must be that good to Molly. All right, so Issa is at work. She's making those phone calls that she had to make the other day to figure out why, they're not being featured anymore by some of those schools. And so she compiles a list of things that the schools are saying to her. Then she takes it into Joanne and presents it to Joanne. And Joanne tells her that she's overstepping, her bounds and all that kind of stuff. And Issa was like, well, I thought I was just helping and all that kind of stuff. And then Joanne basically tells Issa that everything all the issues that are going on around there right now, she's at the center of it, and figure that out first, and then maybe figure that shit out. That's what she wants her to figure out, is all that stuff that's going on right now. So once Issa walks out of the office with Joanne and Frida, she gets a text from Daniel talking about heads up, and I'm like, shit, this nigga is well, you said give you a heads up, so literally he gave you a heads up that he about to get some ass tonight. All right, so we got Molly. She's getting a manicure and a pedicure, and Dro calls her, and she's talking to Dro about the case that she's working on, and he congratulates her, and again Molly is like, boundaries. I thought we were supposed to be just fucking, no friends, no nothing like that. And he's talking about how he wants to take her out and all this kind of stuff, and how he'll come pick up. She's like, nah, I'll meet you there. And she's at her apartment. She's getting ready to go out with Dro, and then Issa calls her, and Issa's trying to see if she'll come out and do Lyft with her, because she can't go home because Daniel is getting some pussy. So, Molly says, yeah. She said, okay, I'm downstairs. So Molly goes downstairs, and they go out doing their Lyft rides and all that kind of stuff. So they go first and pick up these two young black girls who are going to the club or a party or something like that. Which, did those little girls say that they didn't have no money to get into the club? They were just waiting on another dude or something like that, who they didn't know if he had any money or something like that? I was confused. So, like I said, they picked those girls up. Issa has snacks in there and Capri Suns in there for them and all that kind of stuff. So they get the girls where they going. The girls get out the car. They pay the Lyft, and Issa says they paid me. They gave me 5 stars, but no tip. And and then they left a comment. They were like, she played good music, and they reminded her. They reminded her. What am I trying to say? Issa reminded them of an auntie, basically. So they go and pick up another dude. His name was Nathan, I believe. So he gets in the car, and when he get in the car, he is like all kind of negative and all kind of stuff, talking about how long it's gonna take him to get where they going. And Issa was like 30 minutes, which that is a long ass time to get. I don't know how long. I don't know how many miles it was, but 30 minutes to get somewhere like that is a long ass fucking time. But they see where he's going, but then they change the destination because they Issa want more money. She's like, yeah, niggas, it's all about me. So they riding around, and then while they are trying to take him somewhere, they decide to pick up another Lyft. But I guess this nigga was ugly, so they decided not to pick him up. But then they go pick up another nigga who was big as fuck. When he got in Issa's car, that car was sitting to the ground. I'm like, God damn, Issa, your struts are gonna break because of all that weight in your fucking car. And she's calling this the party Lyft and all that kind of stuff. And she gives him a Capri Sun. And talking about, you don't have any other flavors besides this one. And they riding around. And while they riding around, this nigga decided he gonna sit here and roll a whole blunt in her car. And Issa was like, it ain't like that. And he was like, but you said it's a party Lyft. And they all saying it's not like that. So this nigga decides he gonna light the fucking blunt. I'm like, really, nigga? She just said no, and you gonna sit here and still light this blunt. So while he's smoking the blunt The other nigga, Nathan, takes the blunt, which I felt so disrespectful for that blunt. I'm like, oh shit, man. You just took this blunt and threw it out the window. Like, I would have loved to smoke that blunt for real. Like, that looked like a badass blunt. So, like I said, he threw the blunt out the window. And then these niggas start fighting with each other in the back seat of Issa's car. And Molly telling Issa to pull over. And here she is just screaming. And then when they finally pull over, the little nigga, Nathan, he gets out the car and takes off running. And then you got the other nigga in the back seat basically crying, talking about his eye and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, shit. They did tell you not to roll that blunt and smoke that blunt. Nobody made you do it. And then that's why you got your ass beat. Like, I was laughing the whole time just watching that scene. But I did feel disrespectful for that blunt, though. For real. And then Issa goes home where Daniel's sitting there. And it's, again, awkward between those two. It's the awkward silence. And Issa was like, you couldn't respond to my text last night? He was like, my bad, man. I fell asleep and I forgot to text you back. And, you know, Issa is like, well, this is where Issa admits to Daniel that she has feelings for him and that she still does care about him. And Daniel wants to know, you know, what is it, man? Is it me or is it your job? Like, he feel like Issa's playing games with him, basically. And, you know, she says it's both. And again, Issa's like, you know, she knew that Daniel would be there for her. And, you know, she just says that Daniel makes it hard for her to admit her feelings for him. And I'm like, so how does it, I mean, I don't get that. How did he make it hard for you to admit your feelings for him? And, you know, she admits that she was in her feelings because he fucks other girls in front of her. And I'm like, Issa, you could have said something before now about him fucking other girls. Like, I don't think Daniel would have sat there and fucked that girl knowing you still had feelings for him. I mean, Issa, I think this season Issa's really kind of going to work on my nerves just a little bit because some of the, just right now, the shit that she's doing makes no sense whatsoever. So I think Issa's going to work on my nerves just a little bit. Okay, and then we got Molly. She's in her apartment. She's in her room and she walks into her kitchen and there goes Dro sitting there at her bar. And she was like, what are you doing here? And he was like, I came here because you want to answer your phone and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, Molly asked him for her key back. And Dro was like, well, why do you want your key back all of a sudden now? And she was like, I want boundaries because you can have me whenever and however you want to. So I just need some boundaries because I don't want no messy relationship like what you and Candace got. And Dro getting his feelings talking about, you know, don't talk about what him and his wife got and all that kind of stuff. Which I don't agree with Molly talking about their his relationship with Candace because you knew what it was when you got with him. So you can't judge it now. Like, you knew what you were setting yourself up for. You knew what you was getting yourself into. So don't try to judge it now. So I was in agreement with Dro. Like, don't try to come at me now because you and your feelings. Well, I ain't gonna say she in her feelings. Well, yeah, Molly seemed like she in her feelings. I think Molly might want more from Dro than what Dro can provide to her. So that's why she's taking, you know, doing all the stuff that she's doing when it comes to. And then lastly, Issa, she's back at the apartment with Daniel. You know, she's watching TV and Daniel comes out and, you know, he's getting ready to go out for the night. And, you know, they sit there and this time is not so awkward. You know, they are laughing and talking about the TV that she, you know, whatever she's watching. And she also noticed that on her phone that the dude that took off running, Nathan, he also left her a $50 tip for Lyft. I'm like, God damn, I'm like, that's nice as fuck. Like, sometimes I think about doing Lyft, but then again, I'm like, nah, nigga, you do not want to do Lyft. Like, it ain't even worth it. Like, nah, I don't know if I'm cut out for it. I'm like, I'm a rude ass, mean ass person, so I just don't know that I would be cut out for Lyft. May and may not do it. So, you know, like I said, Daniel's sitting there with Issa. And, you know, he comes out, he tells her basically the spot is all hers for the night. And, you know, Issa thanks him. And then, you know, she was sitting there and she picks up her phone and she decides to go do a Lyft run. So that was the episode. Again, tell me how you guys feel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later.